Guys, what the heck is up? We're back, and we got new podcast equipment, which I've been fighting with for the past about hour. I sat down almost an hour and a half ago to record this podcast, and it's new. I don't quite know how to use it yet. I actually had to throw the headphones across the room so that way I could talk and not hear it back in my head with a slight delay. I have to figure out how to fix all that. Anyway, what's up, guys? I've been looking forward to this day for 4 days now. Doing my podcast is my favorite thing in the world, and I want to thank you guys so very much. This thing's kind of blowing up overnight, and that's 100% because of you guys. You guys are telling people about it, you're spreading the word, and for that, I want to thank you. And I'm actually working just to get a pretty simple design drawn up for the Road to Redemption podcast tease. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, definitely let me know. But I think I'm going to put them into production anyway. If nothing else, just for me. I have my old shirts from when I did apparel companies. We actually just burnt our last candle that we made, which we're thinking about starting back up again. The candles, which would be cool. So if nothing else, I make the Road to Redemption podcast shirts to commemorate this time in my life when I am the happiest and I feel like I'm the most powerful I've ever been. And I tell you guys that all the time. Let's jump into today's podcast. First off, I want to start by thanking one of our sponsors, Forest Hemp Co. and Jolly Green Oils it's just saving my life. So shout out to them. You guys can use code CAM10 with Forest Hemp Co. Check them out. If you guys are having anxiety, having any sort of depression, aching in your joints, stuff like that, go check them out. Grab something. If you need any advice on what you can get to kind of treat different things, definitely let me know. Forest Hemp Co. and Jolly Green Oils. Thank you guys so much. I'm actually using I think I'm down to the Berry Blast oil right now, so I love it. Alright, let's jump in. What is intelligence? So that was I forget what the whole context of why I had even written that one down was, but a lot of times we'll write it down and go, you'll remember it when you get into it. So what is intelligence? Most people, I think, nowadays knows that intelligence is not defined by a college certificate of completion, a college diploma. That's the word I was looking for. We know that doesn't necessarily make someone intelligent. That means that they can do a lot of scholastic things, but sometimes those people are very socially awkward. Sometimes those people don't know anything about actual life. And then you have people that are considered street smart, which I definitely think is an intelligence. I think you could be completely scholastic, and if you're not any street smart, then you're not very intelligent. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. So that's pretty much the recap on that one. I'm going to kind of skip through that one just because I don't really understand the context of what I was thinking at that time. It didn't come back to me, but maybe I just wanted to touch on that simple fact of you have to be scholastically smart enough to know that you're not getting screwed over in things like business and whatever, but it also takes street smarts to know you're not getting screwed over in business. So I guess they're both equally important. People who have been hurt the worst are usually the kindest or the most dangerous. That I know 100% what we're talking about. Everything that I consume these days is all about mindset and how to grow our minds better and how to be better even with a dark past. And I look, and every person that I listen to, that I can think of, has some sort of dark past. They're not squeaky clean, and usually they've gone through dramatic hurt. A lot of them have gone through addictions. A lot of them have come through a lot of really dark pasts. So, but also you think too, some of the worst people that we know in the world, like serial killers, they come from dark pasts. And most of them don't come from the Beaver Cleaver home. So I wanted to kind of take a look at that. And I wanted to take a look at what turns somebody when we have a past that severely breaks us, right? Something traumatic has happened, or home life wasn't healthy, something like that. And what makes the person go towards greatness? And because I believe that most great people have come from difficult pasts. So what made that person go to greatness instead of pain, hurt, suffering, school shootings, whatever. And I think very, very clearly, one, I think it's a big factor. You have to be of a mature age to know the difference. I think that's kind of the problem with the kids that do crazy things that are seemingly evil or something like that. But it's because of their past and a lot of stuff they're dealing with. I think that those people, if mature enough, so that's the last time I want to make this disclaimer, if they're mature enough, have the mental fortitude to know that there are emotions that they're feeling and it's not just pure confusion. But if you're old enough to know that you've been really hurt in your past and you're carrying it along with you, I think what I had to do is you have to make a choice, right? So at the age, I think it was like 19, 20s, I realized myself, I was getting to that mature age, and I think parenthood helps with it a lot, that I go, I don't care what happened in my past anymore. This is how I'm choosing to live my life. I know that those things are there. That's a big one. You have to accept the things in the darkness that live there and live in our minds. You have to be able to go, yes, that happened to me. And then you have to be able to go to the next thing and no longer allow it to affect how you do anything going forward. Some of us are, even if traumatic things happen in our lives, a loved one dies, something like that at a young age, you have to start processing those things. And I believe that you can't ever truly process them until you've gone through them. So that's why I think you see like the stereotypical, what happened, they were so, Bob was such a happy guy, and he was, 47 years old. Why did he jump off the balcony of his office? And then you look back and it's like, okay, Bob's never really struggled. His parents were doing well. Things were going all right. And then he gets married and Bob has kids. And then all of a sudden he finds out that he's financially unstable. And then he finds out that his wife has maybe done some inappropriate things on him. And Bob's never processed that stuff before, so he's never had to look at it in its face. And those are pretty minor problems if you really look into retrospect. Somebody that is dealing with sexual assault in their past or something like that, it takes a point for them to where they can go, okay, it happened, and even get that semblance of a phrase into their mind. Okay, it happened. A lot of people try to run from it for a really long time until they find someone that they can confide in and trust in. And then you can go, okay, that happened. How can I move forward? What can I do going forward? I can absolutely do this, which is bad. It's not going to be good for anybody. I can overreact and start drinking a lot and really try to harbor these feelings in and push them away. Or let me start brainstorming some ways that I can mentally deal with this. And when you do that, that's, I believe, what maturity is. It took me to about the age of 19 to do it with my family past, but as I lived life, I wasn't living in a way that when bad things happened, I would erase them on a daily basis. I reset my button from 10 years. I had given that stuff up, but as little things happen, as becoming an adult and maturing and financial hardships and stuff like that, I started to harbor again. So all I had really done was reset my clock because I wasn't then mature enough to go, okay, I've come to peace with my past, but now I have to make sure it doesn't affect my future, right? And that's a big part of it. You just have to be able to assess, it happened, I accept that, and then I'm no longer going to allow it to affect my decisions going forward. Between those two steps could take years. The hardest part in anything really is accepting. That takes a while. For some people that never happens. Some people it happens in, 18 years, and some people it happens in 25. It wasn't until I was 25 years old and I'm going, okay, I've come to peace with my past, but why am I still hurting so bad? Why do I still live my life in this careless manner where I don't take anyone else into consideration? I only do things for myself, and I drank to numb the pain of the mistakes that I make because I'm a kid and I don't really know any better. How do I stop that? And I had to go, okay, you've now, and I drew out my entire situation, everything that it was. And I go, okay, I accept that this is what my situation is. And then I decided, I put the practice into place that I say all the time. I don't know what's going to happen in my future. I may end up homeless and 2 times divorced and whatever. But all I can do is do the next right thing. I put that into practice in 2016. And in 2018, I'm very, very happily married with a daughter whose my situation has gotten so much better. And I have a brand new daughter on the way. Olivia will be here in October. And it's all because I came to acceptance with my past. And then, again, after some years, after about 6-7 years later, I decided I'm no longer going to let this affect my future. Also, there's things that I have to change. The first one being, I don't know everything, I'm not perfect. Once you come to peace with you don't know anything and you're not perfect, the rest comes a lot easier. Now, I'm more open to advice. I'm more open to learn. I'm more willing to look at myself in a critical manner, which a lot of people are not. Just the topics that I've covered right here would take some people it would take them a lifetime to even get through half that process. But it's a very, very long process. At the end of that process, I call it enlightenment. You're able to look at every situation so clearly and so objectively and go, okay, I take that. I accept that that happened. But now I've got to move on. That's how you make life stop happening to you and you start happening to life. When you go, okay, that